is to meet in Venus. Yeah, we're coming through. Shine your light, let your voices be heard. We're spreading love with every single word. From the stage to the screen, we're making our mark. Me and Venus, together we embark.
Good afternoon. I'm very happy to welcome today Sharon Lia from Sharon Lia Band, great singer from the United States. How are you, Sharon? Thank you for
Hi,
joining.
I'm great. I'm great, Sharif. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Hi. Yeah, thank you very much. First, I was curious about your interest into music. How did it start with you, and how did you move from a music lover to a professional singer?
Drive, determination, and I would say a little bit of faith. So I started writing music when I was 12. I started playing music when I was 6. I started singing when I was 2. Um, it's been a lifelong passion for me, and it was like a calling on my life. It was like this visceral calling. So it demanded that I follow the path, I guess.
And tell me a little bit, how did you started your road in songs? Because I've seen that your music was described by a lot of fans and critics as authentic, emotional. So tell me a little bit, how do you assemble your lyrics and music and your performance as well on stage and also in your albums?
Okay, so the process is interesting. I get inspired by Broadway movies, big
Mhm.
movies, like Titanic, and I don't know, just these big, movies. I'm inspired by nature, and I'm inspired by life.
Mhm.
And a lot of times something will trigger me to sit down at the piano, and I'll start to write music, and then I start to articulate words. I almost kind of make scat vocals, if you will, as placeholders for where the lyrics would eventually go, and then I draw on the emotion that's coming out of me musically on my piano, and I divine the lyrics, and I get into a mood, and I decide what I want that song to be about. And then it grows and it changes over time. And until it's like a sculptor molds clay. So
Yes.
I get it to where I really want it to be, where I feel like it's got the right ebb and flow and the right power and the right emotion. And then, invariably I go into the studio, we record it, on purpose, and then I like to bring that energy onto the stage. I want people to have this emotional connection. I want them to feel like they're in the story too, and that I write about things that I feel that other people are experiencing, and not a lot of songwriters are talking about it. And I try to do it in a way that's very like clever, very cleverly written lyrics, so um, your imagination can create the story based upon what you're hearing.
Mhm. Tell me, right now I've seen the recent press release about your latest album, Beyond Wonderland, and I want to ask you specifically about the album, about the themes that you try to tackle in the music and the lyrics of the album, and as well, according to you, since you are a rock singer, what is the stage right now? The uh, about rock music, because it's a music. It's been a long time since the late '60s until now. I want to know, according to you, is it still popular among American and international audience? Because I used to listen to rock when I was a teenager, and still. But let me know about your experience and the through the album as well release.
So Beyond Wonderland was the album I put out 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm,
Expanse is
mm-hmm,
the new album. Beyond
mm-hmm,
Wonderland helped catapult Expanse,
mm-hmm,
which we could talk about that later. But
mm-hmm,
in answer to your question about rock music, the thing about rock music is that it has die-hard fans. They will show up at concerts. They will be lifelong fans. And I believe that there's something about the rock genre that really relates to listeners. Pop music is very transient. You know what I mean? It's very
mm-hmm,
like in the moment, and it's got very shallow themes. I kissed a girl, or what boy I like this week, or whatever. So I think the thing about rock fans, for instance, there's a band named Nightwish that we're very enamored with. There's a band
mm-hmm,
called Lane, um, Dream Theater, Muse, ELO. Yes, these are all bands that I believe just have that everlasting ethereal effect on the listener. So, and
mm-hmm.
that's what I'm hoping for Expanse this time. We really dove in to the sci-fi element, because I believe everyone can connect with that sense of wonder, the mystery and the exploration and the discoveries. So Expanse takes you on a sci-fi cinematic symphonic journey, 26 song double album, to the expanse beyond the stars of what we can imagine, to the expanse within our hearts. And it is a cosmic handshake to the universe of what it's like to be human.
Mhm. It is great that you spoke about the lyrics and comparing the lyrics of pop to rock, because I think it's quite similar. Like we see a trend in social media, and it is gone away very fast. And but for rock music, I think people are still analyzing. Lyrics from the 60s, late 60s, 70s, like the classic ones from Rainbow, from Pink Floyd, and
Yes,
you know,
yes.
here in Ecuador, we just had a concert with Roger Water. He has visited at the end of last year as well, and yeah, I think the new generation also is rediscovering classic and
Yeah,
contemporary rock as well, right?
yeah, yeah. Because there's no depth in current music right now, and
Hmm.
people are searching for they want to sink their teeth into something. They
Hmm.
want to really um, ex- explore the themes, and rock music going back to, yes, and Pink Floyd and Journey and Foreigner and all those, but like Electric Light Orchestra and other bands that are similar to it. There's just a lot. There's a lot to feel in that music, and I just think
Hmm.
that people are searching for purpose. They're searching for something to believe in. They're searching for, you know, a guide or a map for their own lives. I think that they see themselves in music, and I believe they really do see it in rock music.
Hmm. Tell me a little bit about your collaboration with other artists. I mean, a lot of producer and renowned musicians work with you. So tell me about this collaboration and how they influence the final product that reach your audience.
So, I mean, as it relates to myself and my projects, I've done several projects that were collaborative in nature. I still do write the songs and I write the music. But what's really beautiful is when the musicians come in and they put in their parts and you feel that music coming to life. We did a song called The Sum of Us, and we brought 26, I think, musicians, vocalists from around the world.
Hmm.
And the song was recognized by Deepak Chopra on Spotify as his artist pick, and it was a really validating moment. And it gives you chills. It gives you chills when you have that collaborative environment. Now, as far as my music goes, I mean, we've worked with David Ivory, who produced Hailstorm and Silvertide, Erica Badu, uh, Patti LaBelle, The Roots. I'm probably forgetting someone, but Hailstorm's a pretty big name in rock, and he helped discover them. And that was really a great learning experience, you know? So we applied a lot of what we learned, and we worked with him on Beyond Wonderland. We applied a lot of what we learned in that time with David to our own production. So Rick Gennady and I, my partner, my guitarist, my co-producer, and I, um, we've been on this journey together. We've had different people in the band. Primarily, we have our bass player, Rodney. Um, and so it's really great to be in the studio and just hear the parts coming alive.
Hmm. Yes, and I see Expanse also. It's like a rock journey. It was described a lot with symphonic tunes, and I remember I saw a lot of concerts that mixes, rock and guitar with a big orchestra. I've seen very interesting concerts with Alan Parsons projects, and
Yes.
I remember Sabotage as well. I used to be a big fan of Sabotage and Rainbow and Richie Blackmore, you know.
I don't know
So,
those things.
so tell me a little bit about when you are on stage and you are behind this great musician. Tell me about your feeling performing to the audience, because I think the audience also are very good listener to this kind and genre of rock music with symphonic harmonies.
So I, again, going back to the genre, the symphonic rock
Hmm.
genre, and the way that we create the music, it's like watching a movie. It's got that really epic, emotive, empowering, and it draws the listener in, and so they really feel it. I've been, after I get off from stage and I'll talk to some people or some fans, and they'll say, your music is not just music; it's an experience. It's like
Hmm.
going to see a big Pixar movie, and
Hmm.
they say, and not like children's music, but like a big movie, and so I get chills. I literally get chills when we're playing our music, and I feel the power of some of the lyrics, like in Blue Skies, there's one of the lyrics is, we're looking at Earth from outer space, right? And you see this expanse that has no dimension. And that's where the name of the album really is, the idea of seeing all this wonder in front of you. So that is kind of like the experience I want people to take away when they come see a performance. I want them to really feel like like they're transported to a new realm.
Yes. I want to ask you right now, as a woman performer in the rock scene, I remember many great singers like yourself. I love Pat Benatar, Joan Jett,
Hmm.
Heart, the band. I remember they did a great performance of Stairway to Heaven, if you remember this performance. But tell me, as a woman singer in the rock scene, are there any obstacles or challenges you face for you to continue your music journey?
There has been many challenges to being a female musician.
Hmm.
Okay. So getting
Hmm.
into a studio and working in a male dominated field,
Yes.
getting heard, finding my voice. And I've achieved that, but it is a barrier
Hmm.
for women. As a matter of fact, I went through a battle with cancer actually, and I also found my voice in my career and all that good stuff. And I founded Ladies Who Rock for a Cause, which actually gives a platform to women to rock for a
Hmm.
cause. So we help people in need. Um, the reason why I did that was because I realized when I was trying to pull a concert together, the music world is still dominated by guys, which is great. But when I was searching for female musicians, I was like, wow, there's not a lot of them,
Hmm.
But I've got some great heroes, Pat Benatar, Ann Wilson, right?
Hmm.
Grace Potter is another really great, Stevie Nicks. Um, there isn't a whole lot of modern rock artists besides Delane, and Nightwish is not that current. Delane is new. There's In This Moment and Within Temptation. Those are bands that also have strong female vocalist leads. So, making a roar for sure.
Yes, yes, and also a lot of very good guitarists and drummers. Women drummer and guitarists have been seen as well.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, speaking of the challenge of breast cancer, you have a non-profit as well that supports women having
Yes.
the same problem. So tell me a little bit
Yes.
about it, and how do you try to support this cause using your status as an artist?
So, Ladies Who Rock for a Cause is the foundation I was just talking about. Um, and we pull together. We have charitable music festivals, and we started in 2015. I was still fighting still during my journey, my battle with breast cancer, and it's very rewarding to be able to bring women together and give them a platform to use their voices to help other people in need, because it's really combining the power of music, the universal power of music that brings people together and can be very healing for a number of reasons, for myself, for others, for the musicians who are performing, and for the ladies we've helped. We've helped men, women, and children, but it primarily ends up being women, and oftentimes it's women with cancer. So it's been really very rewarding to be able to bring all of that together.
Yes. And right now, I want to ask you about something I think a lot, because of course you know that the music scene have changed since a long time. I
Yeah.
mean, for artists to go on tours and to sell albums, it's been changing right now. So right now, yourself and your team and your band, how do you promote your new singles and albums right now? And I think every artist need to have his work be rewarding, and so he can continue to produce and create. So tell me right now, how do you manage with the change of the scene of music to promote your work?
So it's never been a better time to be a musician in a way. We have the capability of reaching a worldwide audience. So that's
Mhm.
great. You have to learn how to be able to reach those audiences. You have to know how to target the right kind of audience. So, in that way, the current paradigm is great. In other ways, it's not great, because when you stream our music, we don't make as much money. When you buy an album, or when a person buys an album, number one, they own the music forever. So that's a benefit to owning, to buying the album. So, but it's a double-edged sword, and touring, you definitely have to use the same methods. Really, you find your target audience, then you chart a course for the cities that you have your fans in. But it's very expensive, and it's expensive. It's a business. You have to run your music career like it's a business. There's marketing plans and email plans and exposure plans, and you got to write the music. And in my case, we do everything. I wrote 2 books for Expanse. I'm not sure if you're aware of them, but they're beautiful if you get a chance to check them out. You have to be author, composer, producer, engineer, musician, and for me, in a way, I feel blessed that we're able to do all of those. We are blessed with those gifts, whether we went out and learned them or honed them. And not everyone has that ability. So again, that's the drawback. If you don't have a big label, and today, in order to get the attention of a big label, you have to have social media numbers. It's Sharif, it's all upside down. So my advice and what we do is we put out stellar music. We put out great music. We want to give our fans a value for we want them to feel something. We want to give them an experience, which is why I created the books. I created short story videos. They're also lovely, that complement Expanse. And you have to really either educate yourself or, just hone your skills, so that you can have the best career that you can have. And in my opinion, you don't need a big label. You don't. That's just my opinion.
Right now, Sharon, right now, what are your next dreams and project you would like to achieve coming up in the horizon?
Okay, so that's a great question. Thank you. I have Symphonic Rock, and I managed between myself and my band members to create all these symphonic elements. And my dream is to play all of this music accompanied by an orchestra. So that's one dream. And the other dream is because this music it's such a storytelling kind of album. And like I said, it's got that sci-fi feel that I would like to perform this show that we're gearing up for. And this is what our plan is, in domes and planetariums, you know what I mean? So it's a fully immersive experience. But the orchestra that's huge for me, and that's definitely on my bucket list.
This is great. Sharon, I want to thank you very much for coming during the weekend for the live, and
You're welcome.
congratulations for the release of Expanse. And I wish you all the best, yourself and the band and all your collaborators. And I look forward for your upcoming releases. Surely I will enjoy listening to them. And I hope to invite you again when you have a new project to announce.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you for spending some time with me today. It was very nice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a lovely weekend, and best wishes for your success.
Thank you. You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.